Evgeny Morozov, The Net Delusion, How Not to Liberate the World. In The Net Delusion, How Not to Liberate the World, Evgeny Morozov seeks to debunk the notion that the internet is a powerful tool to topple authoritarian governments. By comparing the role of radio in the fall of the Berlin Wall, Morozov argues that the internet's susceptibility to manipulation makes its political influence questionable. This summary highlights the power dynamics of the internet, revealing how authoritarian regimes, Western governments, and even the very nature of virtual connectivity obstruct political freedom.
The limitations of the internet in overthrowing modern dictatorships. The fall of the Berlin Wall, catalyzed by the informative power of radio, gives hope that the internet will play a similar role in modern-day regime change. However, this hope is misguided as the internet's manipulability makes it incomparable to radio, and it is not a surefire tool for information dissemination and revolution. While radio was uncontrollable, authoritarian regimes today have measures to monitor and restrict internet access, making it challenging to overthrow modern-day dictatorships. Internet, friend or foe? The internet, often hailed as the ultimate weapon against political oppression, can also support authoritarian regimes. The nationalistic and xenophobic values of these regimes are often promoted more virulently by bloggers, who can either be supporters or critics of the government. Officials can encourage supportive bloggers while easily identifying dissenters. Governments can monitor citizens through programs installed on their computers and track down dissidents with the help of social networks like Facebook. The like button can even make a person a target for political suppression. Western governments and internet censorship. The Western governments practice internet censorship and manipulation just like authoritarian regimes. They shut down radical websites and track their visitors. However, they complain about the same practices in countries like China and Russia. Western governments also manipulate the internet to provoke riots against dictators by loosening their internet embargoes. This is done to support the opponents of the governments in their own interests. Despite their ideals of internet freedom, Western governments do not practice what they preach. Internet anonymity and the rise of unfavorable organizations. The internet has revolutionized the way people interact and connect with each other. However, the internet's anonymity also allows for criminals, racists, and nationalists to organize themselves and spread undemocratic and intolerant ideologies without fear of repercussions. While Western countries censure these kinds of platforms, authoritarian regimes enable them as long as they support the government's views. For instance, in Saudi Arabia, Islamists who advocate for Sharia law can share their ideas without being hindered, while dissidents struggle to connect online. As a result, modern dictators indirectly bolster their supporters and weaken government opponents by manipulating the internet. The rise of automated censorship. Censorship of the internet was previously done manually, but with modern software, it can be done automatically. With predictive programs, it's possible to control users' internet activity by guessing if it's allowed or not. By using their power, authorities can force people to buy computers with pre-installed censorship programs, making the censorship experience more powerful than ever. The internet, a double-edged sword. The internet has become a powerful tool for both dissidents and authoritarian regimes in their struggle for power. While critics of authoritarian regimes use social media to share their views, these regimes have also learned to use the internet to spread their propaganda. Leaders like the late Hugo Chavez of Venezuela initially ignored the internet but later learned to leverage its power by attracting followers on Twitter and spreading his authoritarian views. Moreover, authoritarian states often promote local alternatives to popular Western websites like Facebook and Google that are easier for them to control and manipulate. This gives them direct control over the information their citizens can access on the web. Thus, the internet has become a double-edged sword that can aid both sides of a power struggle. The illusion of online activism. Many people engage in online activism by joining groups or signing petitions, believing it to be an effective means of creating change. However, psychologists have found that this type of activism only provides a momentary feeling of satisfaction and has no significant impact on issues. In fact, it can actually discourage people from taking more effective action such as participating in protests. The internet also allows people to become distracted by frivolous entertainment and self-centered concerns, preventing them from addressing important political issues. It is important to remember that offline protests are still the most effective way to create change.
Upon diving into Morozov's analysis in The Net Delusion, we can see that the internet is a double-edged sword. While it may provide opportunities for collective action and communication, it also bolsters regimes by enabling censorship, surveillance, and manipulation of content. Ultimately, the internet is not the liberating force against authoritarianism that many may hope for it to be. As we navigate the online world, it is crucial to remain aware of the complex implications of our digital connections.